out there. But here's what I want to know, right? At the end of the day, when you started, right? I know you were saying you have about 8 loans closed. How many applications have you gotten since you started?
Well, at least 60.
At least 60.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And
what's your
some of,
process? What's your process from a sky high view? What is your, because you're obviously, you got to train your guys,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why we got on this call, because you're like, hey, I know the sales process, I have it down. We've done it through trial and error, and I
Yeah.
want to share with the rest of the loan officers that you have. So what does that view look like? Like, how are you training these guys? What do those scripts look like? How are you calling how often are you calling them? Like, what is your, like, let's say if I'm a loan officer and you want to train me, let's say I come work for you, what's the
Yeah.
first thing that you're going to tell me to do from A to Z?
A to Z. I want you to call at least 25 to 35 realtors a day, cold call, and, start a relationship, which, we do some training on that call. We do use some AI stuff to develop scripts, which, for people out there like us that are busy, it's really an awesome tool. AI chat, GPT or whatever it's called, man. It's amazing. And you can really give somebody something that they can use. And, I show them how to use it too, to, not get it in such a technical language where, it sounds very salesy, that you're the best loan officer and things like
Right.
that. They're just very simple scripts. And even same thing with the, I put them through a little training and I'm like, okay, when you go in, these are the leads that are coming in this weekend, because it tells us on the bottom, okay, they clicked Hometown Heroes, they clicked veterans, they know the outlines for those programs. They're taught that. And, I let them do a little trial and error, because like I said, they're not getting covered up, over the weekends, because we run them from Friday to Monday. That's it. And let them run all weekend. And so that's what they have to work with, the next week, because I'm obviously trying to get them to close deals. So I don't want them to have 400 or 500 leads, that they're not able to contact. So, we start with small scripts, it's all about questions and rapport. And, we let them know, because, most people are timid that click a Facebook ad, they've been to a bank or somewhere. And so we know that. And so, we say, hey, look, we're just going to do this, man. We're going to look at your credit, because this is where we have to start. So we do a soft credit pull. It doesn't affect your credit. We're going to opt you out of getting future calls from insurance and real estate or, mortgage companies when we do a hard pull, because there is an opt-out pre-screen. So after 5 days, you really could run a hard, credit pull. But I don't want to pay $100 for a credit pull when I know you probably got a 550. So I pay, $20 and I get your soft pull. I get 2 scores. I get most of your obligations, collections, and we can work with that, So we kind of work it as, kind of a roadmap. Huh?
Less commitment up front.
Yeah.
And that's really important, because I tell people all the time, I go, look, I try and compare it. I'm like, look, because people are, they'll go, oh, well, that guy wasn't really interested. It's like, look, when you walk into a store, you walk into American Eagle and you want to buy a pair of jeans, and the sales associate comes up to you and says, can I help you? What do you
Nope.
say?
Nope.
No, I don't
You
need any
couldn't.
help. Just shopping around, right? Even if you have a set appointment, if you go into a car dealership, it's the same thing. So these people need to understand what's the number one rule in sales: prospects lie, right? And
Yep.
most of them, they're afraid. They think that if they speak to a mortgage broker or a loan officer, it means that they have to move tomorrow. So you kind of have to, like, let them
Yep.
know that that's not the case, and kind of put their worries at ease.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's all about asking questions in this business, and especially these kind of leads, it's because that builds rapport. Because, I mean, if you ask somebody enough questions, they're just going to start gushing information. It's even what I tell the guys when they talk to realtors. If you ask enough questions, you're finally going to get to a place, because it's just like a customer is just like a realtor. What's the biggest thing that they want to talk about? Eventually they want to talk about themselves, right?
Right.
So
Right.
we get the customer to that point, and they really tell us a lot of information of where they are, where they want to be, do they have money? Because, I mean, you're talking to somebody that, yeah, I sent you an email an hour ago so you can see my face, but you can't see Ashley's face. You can't see the other 20 guys I got working for me, but you can ask enough questions and we can put them on a little roadmap, and give them like little goals, okay, this is what we're going to do this month. We kind of know the timeline of based on the money you said you have to take care of some credit scores or, whatever it is. This is kind of the time frame we're looking at. We're looking at always DPA programs because, every county, no matter where you are or even city, they have something. So, we try to help them as best we can to, just relax them a little bit and go, hey,
Right.
you've been renting for 12 years. What's another year, man? It's nothing. Okay.
Right.
It's six
Absolutely.
months.
And then to my understanding, what you do is when you get a lead in a certain area, that then gives you the green light to start calling realtors in that area.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
that's truly making the most out of your leads.
Yes.
Truly, right.
Yep.
Because for every lead that you get, you can get a relationship, and people don't understand that. They just look at
Yep.
the lead and say, oh, this one didn't pan out. But if you are making the most out of your lead, and for every lead that you get that you talk to, you're actively trying to find a realtor, one, that's great for your relationship because you're leading with value, which is going to separate you from the rest of
Yeah.
the with all other loan officers. Plus, the lead's going to appreciate you going out of your way to find them a real estate agent.
Oh man, they cry on the phone. I mean, it's really rewarding. I mean, yeah, of course we're in it to make a living, but the other stuff, the kudos and the, getting people in the home that never thought was possible is even, a bigger picture. And, that's kind of how we teach our MLOs to be. It's, this is about relationships. This is about long-term business from, okay, we got somebody that's never been in a house ever. Well, how many friends do they have that they're going to tell? And they're just going crazy. They're overjoyed, so
That's another big advantage to the renters,
yep,
right? Is
yeah,
they're most likely first time home buyers, which means they're excited. They're going to tell their friends, their family. So you're thinking about this not only on a structural level within your business, but you're also thinking about the psychological and emotional effects that lead is going to have that
yeah,
are going to in turn benefit you in the long run.
for sure. I mean, we do quality control, when we close the lead. I mean, there's, you know, 10 things that the loan officer, processor, and owner of the company that we do after we close every deal. First, we ask the customer for referrals right then. We asked, the real estate agent too, hey, do you have any other challenging people that are out there that we can help? Then we ask the selling agent, of course, we send them surveys, we send them, all these things. And, we continue to stay in contact with them because once a mortgage officer closes, a deal, they're required to call them once a quarter and ask them for more business, because I mean, face it too. I mean, a lot of the people that they're having
That's a policy
challenges.
within your company.
Yes.
That's an awesome policy. That's an
Yes.
amazing policy.
Yes. And think about the interest rates these people are in that really do want to get in a house today where they're at. And, okay, their taxes are jacked up or their income or, things like this are messed up. So we've got another customer in 6 months, 9 months, once we get them straightened out, maybe the interest rates come down, maybe they don't. But, they're going to be at a better, credit score because once you help somebody with a credit score, man, they really protect it is what it seems like. Or, the other side of it, they jack the credit cards back up and then you got a refinance deal here.
Right.
It's like, but you can help them and help them again,
Yeah.
and especially the first time home buyer, because you're looking at, they're probably going to buy 5 or 6 homes, hopefully we'll be in business and alive to be able to do their loans, but this won't be their last house, and so it's great.
Right. Right. That's amazing. No, and too many loan officers, they just kind of look at it as a one and done every lead. And I think the difference between you, I mean, look, you got 60 applications, you got 8 closes. Like, I think the fact that it's because you're leaving no stone unturned. You're taking one lead, just like we say, take your dollar and stretch it as far as you can. You're
Yep.
taking your asset and stretching it as far as you can, which
Yep.
I think is definitely thinking outside the box a little bit, and I think that approach is really cool. How many realtors have you gotten as a result of this new strategy with these leads?
I think we got about 12 that are giving us everything. you
Wow.
know. And you know, here again, I've sold things door to door. I've sold them any way you could sell something, man. Okay. So I remember the door to door thing. That's what I tell my guys with these realtors, you know, just stick your foot in where they can't slam it right on your nose. Okay. And
Right.
then when we come back and we call them again, let's put our foot in a little more and a little more. I said, it takes all the relationships take time, you know, and even for realtors, it's like, um, you know, I don't want a realtor that's not producing either. But will I help them? Yes, of course I will. But am I going to spend my time on them as much as I would somebody that's doing, you know, 8 to 12, you know, buyers a year? No, I
Right.
won't. Because that's the greatest thing about this business is when you have a lead, you're pre-approved. I start calling them. I start looking them up. How many deals have they done? You know, I don't even bother if they one, two, you know, oh, I do this part-time, you know, kind of supplement my income. That's not what I use that for. I go find the guys that are doing business and I go, hey, you know, I know this isn't the greatest, but I got this guy approved for 200,000. He's good to go. Oh man, I appreciate it. You know, because you know they like to sell homes like we like to do loans. You know, 4 or 500,000, we're good. You know.
Of course. Of course. Awesome. That's amazing. No, and I think this is a good and I'm going to start pushing that in our coaching calls. I'm going to say because you know me, I push those calls. I say, hey, get your ass on the phone, right?
Yep.
But I think the other thing is get your ass on the phone, not only calling your leads, but calling real estate agents.
Yep.
Anytime you have a lead, you need to be shopping. It's almost like it reminds me of when I used to own a recruiting company because there were two sides of it. It was one, we have to call the companies and get the job descriptions and job requirements and get them to allow us to work on the job. And then we would find a person to fill that role and connect them, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's essentially the same thing, right? It's just kind of like a two-part sale, which
Yep.
obviously the cool thing about this is the loan. And here's how valuable it is, guys. The loan closes one time, but a realtor can get you five, six, an extra 10 deals a year,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's amazing because you're taking your lead and then you're potentially 10xing it, which
Yeah.
is which is a really good approach. So that's been probably your bread and butter and the difference into what's made you so successful. So you have 8 loans closed. How many? I mean, if you had to kind of guess, and I don't know, have you closed any deals as a result of those 12 real estate agents yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
mean,
So how many
they
have
bring they
those? How many have the realtors brought you?
I think we've closed like 6 in the last 3 months, and that's not even people we brought to them yet.
So
Okay.
that's
Because
6 plus 8.
yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's amazing because I mean, I have to look at business from a sales perspective. My wife's a MLO, you know, broker. So she's the one that's got all the info in her brain about this guideline, that guideline. I'm like, no, I think about how to multiply dollars and cents, and that's what I know how to do. And it doesn't make any sense to, you know, hope these leads convert one person because this, you know, to an actual loan where we're recouping some of our money, right? I can't look at it that way, or I'm going to lose every time because it's not about that. It's about the future, you know. And if you're going to be in business for a long time, you know, this is the way to go because I tell you what, it's the easiest platform I found. It's the most inexpensive platform, and it's a really great tool for us using training for the new guys, you know, because these people are standing on guard when you call them, even though they filled out something a lot of times, you know.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
I didn't call. I understand. Okay. Well, they told me, Mike, that they didn't fill anything out. I'm like, okay. So you don't call them back. I throw them in the pond and let somebody else call them because 3 months down the road, it's going to be a different story, you know.
Yeah, they
And
still got to
it's
move. Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
they still got to go. So, you know, we're just going to leave it and continue to dial it in even tighter than it already is because I mean, we really don't spend a lot of money for what has happened. You know, if I look at the big picture, all of the, you know, media platforms and ads and, you know, because I don't have time to do it anymore. You know, where I really found you, I don't even know how we found you. It was an accident and Thursday night or something. Me and my wife are drinking wine, we're watching, and I'm like, man, let's try it. What do we have to lose? This is not, you know, nothing compared to what we've already thrown out the door, right?
Right.
So I didn't have to invest $10,000 or 7,000 or, whatever these crazy people want out here. And I'm like, well, let's just do it and let's work it and let's see, what we can make of it. And then, we made it to expanding from, my wife and my daughter being the only loan officers we had to, 18 people, and we're able to give them enough.
It was just you two at the beginning when you started this, and now you have 18 employees.
Yeah, it was my wife and her
Holy
daughter.
crap, that's
We're,
amazing.
we're the
I
only
love that.
they were the only loan officers, and then the kids have been our processors. So we're like, okay, let's go.
Unbelievable. That like truly fills my heart. I love
And
that.
then,
Amazing.
it's funny when you interview people too, go into that, well, do you have leads? Well, I don't know. Can you pick up a phone? Do you call them? And so I do, use these to, kind of as a reward system for people that call. They do get more, they do have opportunity. Some people don't even get on this platform because they don't. And everybody's got a different work ethic. I understand that. Some guys just
Right.
want to do their own thing, and they do their 2 or 3 loans a month, which is fine with us because we make money. But the guys that really are learning, a sales aspect that they never had, because they worked for Penny Mac or Bank of America, so they were behind a phone and waiting on the phone to ring. Oh, here's another application, let's check it out. Oh, good, you're not. Bam. We're teaching these guys. I don't know if we're teaching them too much. I hope none of them leave. We're taking really good care of them, but we're really teaching them, a future for themselves, because I know, and my wife, I mean, we have a great life that we built because of mortgages, and it's ever expanding. And these young kids that come to us and, yeah, I want to work for you, it's awesome too, watching them. It's like,
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, if you want 2 or 3 loans a month, you don't need to do much, except for people need to know what you do. But if you want to be a producer and you want to do, I think every loan officer could handle 10 loans a month, because we have our own in-house processing and stuff like that. They could hold more than that. I mean, that's real life-changing, money.
Right.
That, instead of driving a Volkswagen, you could, I don't know, if you wanted a Maserati in a year, you could do that if you're doing 10 loans a month easy.
Right.
Or you could buy a home instead of renting, or whatever you're doing. You can really better your life. And at the same time, it's all, I like mortgages because it's a really ethical business. And and that's one thing that me and my wife really believe in personally. And it's great to be in mortgages because it is ethical. It's, these guys are, learning. It's about a real sale. It's not about telling them some BS that's not true, or that they can't produce. I mean, it's all real. So it's probably the first thing that I've ever sold that was 100% without a doubt. It's real. It's no lies in there. There's no, any of that
Right.
crap. There's no gray. It's
Right.
black and white, so it's awesome.
That's awesome, man. That makes me so happy. I can't wait to tell Brandon. That's incredible. You were able to grow your business to 8. Now you have 18 employees. Like, you don't
We're still
understand.
looking. We're still looking. So anybody on this call, man, if you
Yeah,
want to look at a good comp plan and you're not getting what you want, we'll be happy to talk to you.
that's amazing. That makes seriously, that makes me so happy. That's such a great story.
Yeah.
It really is. That's amazing, man. Do you have anything else that you think would be useful for these loan officers just to wrap this up? Any parting advice for them?
I mean, there's so much information on the internet about sales and mortgages, whether it be podcast, whether it be, coaching, or whether it be you guys, or even you guys. I mean, I don't come to the meetings a lot, but when I do, I hear and I get, something, and just take away a little bit of whatever you're doing. I mean, the podcasts that I listen to are phenomenal, man. And it gives me enough to, help my people, give them a little nugget or two a day to push them through the day to get on the phone, because that's what the business is about. If
You'll
you're on the
you'll
phone,
you'll be excited. I started a podcast where I interview the top 50 loan officers in Scotsman Guide. So I just did an
nice.
interview with number 2, Tuan Nguyen, guys like Matt Oliver, so Jim Black, all these guys in the top 50, where I'm just asking them, what they've done, what their strategy is to be
Yeah.
successful. So we're gonna launch that. We're gonna put it in the Facebook group once a week. for all of
That's
our,
great.
yeah.
I mean,
So
it's invest in yourself is the name of this business. And if you don't have time to do that, then if you want to be mediocre, then you can be without much effort. But, if you want to invest, and it's not a lot of time, I'm talking 30 minutes a day, you know,
right,
I've seen Tony Robbins, I've done all, 10X, Grant Cardone,
right,
all these
right, right,
guys. And I just take a little bit of what I heard today and I use it. And, and it keeps me in a mindset of being positive too. I mean, if you're not, I'm not getting any loans, these leads suck. Whatever's going on in your head that's not true, just combat it with 20 minutes of taking care of your mental health, in the morning and going at it, man.
right. That's amazing, man. I really appreciate you hopping on the call, and hopefully I got to talk to you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think we should do a call Ask Me Anything.
Yeah.
And we could have you on one of those coaching calls. This way, after the loan officers see this, they'll come
Yeah.
on the coaching call and they'll be able to ask you whatever they want.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that.
I don't care. I mean, like I said, there's enough business out here, because I know in Florida, I know on the calls there's several of them, and I've talked to a few, and a couple of them are going to do stuff their own way or whatever it is. I
Right.
don't care. I'll talk to anybody. There's enough business out here, in Pinellas and Hillsborough County, where I live. There's I think 17,000 real estate,
Agent, yeah.
realtors
Yeah, yeah.
realtors. So
Plenty to go around.
plenty of builders, plenty of business. So no, I don't mind at all.
Awesome, Michael. Well, I appreciate you hopping on this call, man. And congratulations with everything. Sounds like business is growing. I can't wait for you to get to 100 loan officers.
Yeah,
I can't wait for, so
that's the
that's
goal.
awesome.
70 by the end of next year. I mean, we're realistic. I mean, it's hard to, like I said, if you got anybody on these calls that, want to entertain a
Yeah.
cool work environment, a cool place to work. We believe in ethics. We believe in, building yourself up and helping.
We're going to be
But
putting recruiting ads in the folder, by the way.
that's awesome.
So you can
Good.
utilize that.
Okay.
Awesome,
Good.
Michael. Thanks so
Yep.
much, man. I really appreciate everything. Thank you.
All
And
right.
again, congratulations, man. What you're doing is amazing.
Yep. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.